I'm going to talk about 7 items that most people completely overlook when building their emergency supplies. These aren't your typical beans, bullets, and band-aids. These are the everyday essentials that could become absolutely priceless when the SHTF, both for your family's comfort and as serious bartering currency. Let's dive in. First up, plain old body soap. I'm talking bars of soap, not fancy liquid stuff that needs packaging. Here's the thing. Hygiene doesn't stop being important during emergencies. In fact, it becomes more critical. Poor sanitation leads to disease, infections, and medical problems you definitely can't afford when hospitals might not be available. A simple bar of soap prevents skin infections, removes harmful bacteria, and honestly, maintains morale. When everything else is falling apart, a hot wash with real soap can be a massive psychological boost. For bartering, goldmine. Think about it. How many people are stockpiling soap compared to ammo or food? After a few weeks without proper hygiene, people will trade valuable items for something as basic as a bar of soap. Store dozens of bars. They're cheap, last forever when kept dry, and take up almost no space. Next, dish soap. Completely different from body soap and just as essential. You can't just rinse dishes with water and call it clean, especially when dealing with meat, oils, or any contaminated surfaces. Proper dish soap cuts through grease, removes harmful bacteria, and prevents foodborne illness, which could be deadly when medical care isn't readily available. But here's the kicker. Dish soap isn't just for dishes. It's incredibly versatile. Washing clothes, cleaning wounds in emergencies, even pest control when mixed properly with water. As barter currency, dish soap hits different than body soap because it serves multiple cleaning functions. People will realize they need this after they've been eating off dirty plates for a week. Stock up on concentrated versions. They go further and store better. Third item, Clorox-based household cleaners and disinfectants. When the power's out, water treatment plants aren't running, and waste management systems fail, disinfection becomes critical for survival. Clorox-based cleaners don't just clean, they actually kill dangerous pathogens that soap can't touch. You'll need these for sanitizing water containers, cleaning surfaces that handled raw meat, disinfecting areas where people have been sick, and maintaining sanitary conditions in bathrooms or waste areas. During any crisis involving disease outbreaks, these cleaners become absolutely essential. For bartering, think about this. When people start getting sick from contaminated surfaces or bad water, disinfectant becomes more valuable than gold. Parents with children will trade almost anything to protect their family from disease. Stock multiple types, spray bottles, wipes, concentrated solutions. Fourth, feminine hygiene products. You know, this is probably the most overlooked prep item, and it actually affects half the population. Periods don't just stop during emergencies, and without proper products, women face some serious health risks, infections, and even a complete loss of mobility and dignity. Pads, tampons, menstrual cups. Honestly, these aren't luxuries, they're medical necessities. Women literally can't function normally without them during their cycle. And from a bartering perspective, this is probably your highest value trade item. Women will give up food, water, medications, almost anything, just to maintain basic hygiene during their period. And here's the thing, hardly anyone thinks to stockpile these, so supply will be extremely limited while demand stays constant. Stock various types and sizes. They store easily, last for years, and, well, the demand never stops. Fifth item, backup water filters. Everyone talks about having a water filter, but what happens when that filter breaks, clogs permanently, or just gets lost? You're back to drinking potentially contaminated water, which can kill you way faster than lack of food. Backup filters aren't just smart, they're essential. Main filter systems fail, ceramic elements crack, plastic housings break. Having multiple backup filters means, well, continuous access to clean water no matter what happens to your primary system. For bartering, clean water is literally life or death. When someone's primary filter fails and their family is facing dehydration or waterborne illness, they'll trade anything, food, tools, weapons, for a functioning water filter. These are compact, lightweight, and honestly, possibly the most valuable barter item you can carry. Always have at least 3 to 4 backup filters per person in your group. Sixth, good manual can openers. This sounds almost stupid until you really think about it. How much of your emergency food storage is in cans? Probably a lot. What happens when your can opener breaks or gets lost? Suddenly all that canned food becomes nearly inaccessible. I'm not talking about cheap dollar store openers that break after 10 uses. Invest in heavy-duty manual can openers that will last years of heavy use. These tools literally determine whether you can access your stored food. As barter items, can openers are perfect because they're small, durable, and solve an immediate, critical problem. When someone's family is hungry and their can opener just broke, they'll trade valuable supplies for a working one. The demand is instant and desperate. Buy a dozen good ones. They're cheap insurance and excellent trade goods. Last item, cheap reading glasses in various strengths. Here's something most people never consider. What happens when someone who needs glasses for close-up work breaks or loses their only pair? Suddenly they can't read labels, instructions, do detailed repairs, or perform close-up tasks that might be critical for survival. Reading glasses are different from prescription glasses. They're generic magnification that helps most people with close-up tasks, even if they normally don't need glasses. During high-stress situations, everyone's vision tends to suffer. For bartering, this is genius, because it's such a specific need that people never think to prepare for. When someone realizes they can't read medication labels, repair instructions, or do detailed work because they lost their glasses, they'll pay premium prices for a simple pair of readers. Buy various strengths, plus 1.0, plus 1.5, plus 2.0, plus 2.5. They're incredibly cheap at dollar stores but become priceless when needed. These 7 items cost almost nothing to stockpile, take up minimal space, and could become worth more than gold when things get tough. The key is thinking beyond the obvious preps and considering the everyday necessities that everyone else forgets. Stock these items not just for your family, but as serious bartering currency. When people are desperate for basic hygiene, clean water, or simple tools, these items become your ticket to getting whatever you actually need. What overlooked prep items would you add to this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical prepping content. Stay prepared, stay safe. Be sure to subscribe for more info.